right, so today we're going to do a little bit of an octave lesson. This is sort of a Wes Montgomery style. Wes Montgomery was a great 50s and 60s guitar player. Legend has it he started playing with his thumb because his wife was a difficult woman to get along with and didn't want him to practice too loudly, so he didn't use a pick. I don't know if that's really the truth or not. It might not be. It might be urban legend. But nonetheless, he was one of the greatest players at this style, and it's really amazing to hear. There's a recording called Smokin' at the Half Note that's really worthwhile hearing, but all of his records are great. He also did a lot of pop music, but his real jazz stuff was just amazing. So one of the things that he did, and what octave players like George Benson, Chuck Loeb, people like that do afterwards, is we're just playing an octave. So you know the octave. If I play an E note, I play an octave down, B note, octave down, F sharp, and so on. And what I normally do on this is I normally keep first and fourth finger for all of my octaves. It keeps me a little bit more sane. I've seen other players switch when they go to these, to the first and third. Totally great. There's amazing players that do that. But for me, I just keep it sane with first and fourth all the time. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of different exercises to get the idea here. But let me show you first what we're going to do. If I just trace a pentatonic scale, that's going to be the basic idea of what we're doing. So here's the way to start working your way through this, though. We're going to do just first finger, and you're going to use your thumb for it. And I just want you to do only first finger, but it's going to get your hand movement right. So we're going to do like this. So all I'm doing is going straight down the pentatonic. And the reason I'm using just first finger is when you play your octaves, that's exactly what happens. You have to move your hand this way. And you can see the challenge of the octaves then. They're difficult because you have to move around a lot and your hand has to be fairly accurate. Okay, so that's step one. The next thing is we're going to add the octave notes on these. Of course, it gets definitely more difficult at this point. So I'm going to go like this. Same line, switch 4 and 1. 3 notes on that one, and then back to 2 notes, 2 notes, 2 notes. And this will be your exercise then to just do the octaves up and down the pentatonic this way. So if I did this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you notice, I'm picking first finger and fourth finger, or thumb and first finger over here. It just makes it a little bit easier. Guys like Chuck Loeb actually play that style a lot. They'll play octaves this way. So that's your basic pattern. Then we're going to do it with all thumb, and it's going to be all downstroke. I'm taking my thumb. If you see, I'm sort of brushing the strings straight, and I'm getting all the sound of the rest of the strings, which means my muting has to be really good. So I cover the other strings. If I don't, you hear the problem. So the whole time, this second finger is sort of muting. And a lot of times I'm percussive with it too. So I'm not doing, but so I'm sort of bouncing my hand when I do that. My left hand, that is. So. This is already starting to sound a little bit like what you hear the guys doing. You don't have to play it too fast, just a nice medium speed just to get the idea under your hands. Okay, then another trick that Wes did all the time that really makes this sound cool is he did this like... So I'm starting on the up, that sort of thing. So, okay. So. Same notes, but every single one of these do that pattern. And you can't really do that in time. He'd only do it on the first, like, he'd do that sort of thing. But this is good practice. Yeah, and the last last note is actually the down. So it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2. So that's where your timing is. Okay. Now the other thing that he did a lot was he did approach notes. So he'd do like. What we're going to do is I'm going to just do a couple of them. When I do string switches, I'm going to do the approach notes only on the descending line. So I'm going to do like this. Straight, straight, approach, approach, and then straight back up. Now we're going to go into the lines next, and this is going to get fun, and this is also the tricky part. So when I started with I did just like E minor 7 or E minor 11, and I started off. So blue note. And that again is really the sound in this sort of vibe. So there's phrase 1, okay? Phrase 2. Da-da-da-da, and that's da-da-da-da. So boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Stretch. So phrase 1. Then what he did a lot of times was he would mirror phrases all the time. He was the best at it. He would have these question and answer phrases that were just unbelievable. But I'm going to do the same thing. But I'm going to end differently. So I'm going to do. Oh, and I think sometimes on that second note I do. Then I'm going to go up to the high octave. So second phrase, third phrase, I guess. And I think I do the tilia on the second one. Okay, so far. And then I think I'll put in a little extra with fifths in there. Next phrase. Then I'm going to go all the way up it in triplets. Yeah, that's what I did. So let me go slow on it. A, B, D, E, G, A, B flat, B, D, B. Okay, so that's that phrase. And then the last phrase. Same thing, but then I'm going to do this high one, and I'm going to go all the way down. So straight down the pentatonic. One more time from the top. And that's Wes style octaves.